The story begins when Masato Osuki fills out a questionnaire claiming to have a very average relationship with his mother, Mamako. Masumi Shiris from the cabinet office informs Masato that he's about to start a new life inside a video game. However, after entering the fantasy world, Mamako is transported alongside him. The teleportation king registers them as Normal Hero and Normal Hero's mother, and he explains they were selected based on Masato's questionnaire and have been transported inside the game via unexplained technology. Masato is then allowed to choose his sword, and he selects Firmament, Holy Sword of the Great Heavens, while Mamako grabs two swords with very long names, but they both are holy swords as well, planning to use them as kitchen knives. It becomes clear quickly that Mamako is more powerful than Masato, and she admits Shirase sent her with him for a secret reason. Regardless, they begin in the kingdom of Malmelia, at the Adventurers Guild, where the desk assistant, Shirase, looks and acts uncannily like Shirase from the cabinet office. When Masato recruits 3 girls, Mamako decides she must interview them to see which will be a suitable future bride. However, Mamako rejects all the girls Masato chose. Instead, she recruits Porta, a merchant and craftswoman. Masato then tries to reject Wise, a sage with healing and combat magic, but also with a difficult personality, so she teleports them away to punish him. Wise then reveals the game as an MMORPG, or Mother's Massively Maternal Multiplayer, make-up with offspring role-playing game, the point of which is to improve the mother and child relationship in order to return home. Wow, that's a new one. Wise also explains her relationship with her own mother is so bad that they split up, and now she wants Mamako to adopt her instead. Meanwhile, Shirase teaches Mamako a skill to locate Masato, after which Wise is thrown in jail. Mamako then promises to help Wise and her mother reconcile. As such, the duo decide to conquer their first dungeon. Unfortunately, they get lost in the dark. Luckily, Mamako unlocks a mom's skill, Mother's Light, allowing them to see. She defeats several slimes, leveling herself up, but her clothes are missing. Despite being revealing, Mamako defeats the slimes, revealing a coffin with another Shirase inside it. Afterwards, Wise revives her, and she reveals she's Shirase, the mysterious nun, and gives them a new quest. To prepare for their new quest, the party shops for equipment. Masato then becomes frustrated with Mamako and snaps at her. He immediately feels guilty, but Mamako forgives him. At Maimon Village, the chief explains the Empress of Night has demanded an attractive man and asks Masato to defeat her. Masato then enjoys a hot spring, only to be joined by Mamako, Porta, and Wise, who reveals she has knowledge of the Empress. She then accidentally reveals herself to Masato. Meanwhile, Shirase informs the Empress that she has broken too many rules. However, the Empress destroys Shirase. Back to the group, Wise tells Masato she will face the Empress alone, and Masato tries to stop her. Wise then admits the Empress is her selfish mother who forced her to enter the game, who then abandoned her after she realized she could use her magic to establish a new life with money and young men. Wise also claims to no longer care, but Mamako knows she's lying and proves it by hugging Wise, who admits the hug feels weird as it did not come from her own mother. Afterwards, the party finds and revives Shirase, who reveals the Empress named Kazuno is suspected of cheating inside the game. Shirase then offers to waive the fine for cheating if Wise can somehow repair their relationship. Meanwhile, Kazuno immediately starts a fight where she summons a white room. Masato then realizes she's hacking with a tool she found. Kazuno also reveals she plans to use it in the real world to hack her way to riches and power. However, Kazuno refuses to listen to Wise as she's still angry. Suddenly, Mamako breaks into the room. Realizing Kazuno is a sage like Wise, Masato uses one of Porta's tools to seal Kazuno's magic. Kazuno is then easily overwhelmed and defeated, though Wise catches her before she hits the ground, begging for them to reconcile. As such, Kazuno transforms back to her true form, only to immediately begin arguing with Wise. Shirase accepts this as them reconciling and clearing the game, allowing Kazuno to log out. However, Wise opts to stay in with Masato, claiming she wants to help the party for fun. The real Shirase then contacts them with a new quest to fix the problems the software writers cannot. As the saga continues, Mamako is happy she can have normal conversations with Masato again. One day, Masato decides to join the Lover's Lane Academy for experience. There, he meets fellow student and mage Medi and her controlling mother, Medamama, who constantly brags about Medi's abilities. Medamama insists on joining the lesson to ensure Medi remains the strongest student. However, experience points are given for correct answers, but everyone is sabotaged by Medamama. She claims to be the greatest parent in the world by sabotaging others. Masato notices Medi does not seem to agree with this. Meanwhile, Mamako disguises herself as a student and infiltrates the school with Shirase as the principal, who wants them to fix the bugs in the academy software, since the academy was constructed hastily. Mamako then observes the next class with Medimama, who's surprised Mamako worries more about her child making friends than acing the class. As the two continue to interact, Medi finds Mamako amusing, embarrassing Masato. Medimama then tries to sabotage the class again, but Mamako's mother's sharing skill cancels her sabotage spells. When her mother finally fails, Medi finds it amusing. Mamako then ends up answering all the questions herself and comes to the top of the class, with Medi in second, while Masato, Wise, and Porta come in joint last place, but Mamako praises their effort anyway. To no surprise, Masato has developed a crush on Medi. Meanwhile, Medimama begins a one-sided rivalry with Mamako. Masato then notices Medi making quiet negative comments about Medimama. However, their first lesson is cooking, which Medi manages to do well at due to Medimama's cheating. Mamako also does well, but with normal cooking, and her food is so amazing that Masato, Wise, and Porta get skill boosts and XP from eating it. Medi congratulates them, but Medimama is furious. In swimming class, Medimama tries to show off in her outfit, but is easily outdone by Mamako in a school swimsuit, infuriating her even further. In the pool, warriors like Wise and Masato are told to defeat sea monsters while crafters like Porta collect the drop items. Mamako then shouts encouragement while Medimama shouts criticism. During battle, Medi loses her self-confidence and gives up, so a monster grabs Mamako, but she beats it with her Mother Ocean's sword, allowing Masato to kill it. Masato then wins first place and is bear-hugged by Mamako, while Medimama slaps Medi for failing. As Masato tries to comfort her, Medi runs away. Later, Masato and Mamako see her furiously kicking a wall, swearing and wishing Medimama was not around. Please leave some love if you watched this far. Later, the Academy announces a festival which the students must plan with their parents for experience points. Mamako suggests a cafe, so Medimama plans her own cafe to compete with them. Medi later approaches Masato to apologize for her mother's behavior. Meanwhile, Mamako's cafe is an immediate success while Medimama's is ignored. To attract customers, she uses Medi as bait, but when Masato sees this, Medimama claps him. He then becomes a ghost and overhears her order Medi to persuade him and ruin Mamako's cafe. Once revived, Masato angrily confronts Medimama, who demands they compete in a waitress beauty contest. There, Medi defeats Wise in the contest, but Mamako goes on stage to speak to Wise and accidentally defeats Medi. Masato then flees with Medi, so her mom cannot punish her. Medi reveals she just wants to have fun, but she has no friends because of Medimama. As such, Masato, Wise, and Porta decide to be her friends. Seeing this, Medimama attacks Medi, calling her a terrible excuse for a daughter, but Mamako stops her. Medimama then admits she only pushes Medi to be the best because it allows her to claim she's the best mother. Hearing her admission, Medi unleashes her rage and transforms into a dragon. With the Pokemon evolution, Medimama tries to blame Masato and attacks him, but Mamako stops her. Medi then drains all of Wise's magic and argues with Masato over him having a wonderful mother. Mamako then pulls out another skill, Mother's Words, to communicate to Medimama. Realizing she has been selfish, Medimama tries to apologize, but Medi attacks her. Medi then steals Medimama's staff and encases herself in a protective shell. Once Mamako breaks the staff, Medi transforms back into a human. Medimama catches her, and of course they reconcile. Masato then realizes Medimama's staff amplifies its wielder's feelings. At the Academy's graduation party, Medimama decides to log out, but Medi decides to stay and become the party's healer, much to Wise's chagrin. Shires, the mysterious nun, arrives with the tool prizes for graduating, only to reveal they must wager the experience they gained in classes for spins on a wheel to maybe win the tools. Masato and Wise waste all their experience but only win health and magic potions. As a bonus for reconciling Medi and her mother, Shires gives Masato a bonus spin, and he wins Mamako a new mother's apron, which he decides he can live with. With Medi in the party, she quickly realizes there isn't much to do in the party. Meanwhile, Masato finds a flyer for a new tower dungeon with a single wish as its final prize, so he decides to invade it. However, upon arriving in the area, Masato finds it full of angry mothers. They also locate Shires in a nearby coffin. She then informs them that she has no knowledge of the tower and she suspects someone is sabotaging the game. Upon entering the tower's first few floors, they meet Amanti, a member of an anti-mother party called Rebel. Deciding they cannot let delinquents get their hands on the wish, Masato decides to defeat Rebel and return the members to their parents. However, to be strong enough to beat the tower, Shires suggests forming a guild. So the group takes over an old guild hall, which Mamako names them with My Mom Guild. Later, Masato, Medi, and Porta go shopping for building materials to repair the guild, only to see Amanti shopping as well. She attempts to insult them, but Medi unleashes her dark side, so Amanti admits she sent an assassin to their new guild. With this information, Wise suddenly teleports in to tell Masato that Mamako is in danger.